So just take a second to look at this gameplay right now. You can see that I'm holding a shield and I'm sprinting. You may think I'm playing as Blitz. Well, I'm not. I'm playing as Monty. Yes, Ubisoft surprisingly dropped the lab test server today on a Monday. We never usually get Siege stuff on a Monday. But this test server has brought us the brand new shield rework coming in Rainbow Six Siege. Now, before we get into the details of this rework, I will say two things. One, this is a massive buff for shields. Don't go into this thinking, oh great, we're gonna get another nerf to an operator. No, this is a very good thing. Just because I know we've been getting a lot of nerfs recently, this is a really good buff. And secondly, this is on the test server. That means not everything is finished. So if you see like, the odd animation looks out of place or there's an asset randomly floating in the middle of his hand, it's not the final product, so don't worry about that. However, the product that we were given is absolutely incredible. I've been looking forward to the shield rework ever since it was announced at the beginning of last year, but now that I've actually had a taste of it and played it, I can honestly say this is some of the best work they've done, and I'm genuinely not joking when I say that. So for starters, there's 3 operators this is mainly affecting right now: Monty, Blitz, and Fuse. Ubisoft did hint that more operators may be getting the ballistic shield. That is the one that Recruit had and that Fuse currently has, sort of like the basic shield which doesn't have a special ability like Monty and Blitz. However, at the current point in time, it's only Monty, Fuse, and Blitz which have shields. Yes, I know Clash has a shield. I tried her out. She has no changes because her shield acts differently to these 3. So the first major difference you'll notice is that they've streamlined the movement for shields. Every single shield now has the movement of Blitz. So that means when Monty and Fuse run with their shields, instead of putting it to their sides and doing sort of a swaying arm walking animation, they now do it the same as Blitz, where they have the shield in front of them, and when you full sprint, that remains in front and it covers your body. So now all 3 of the current shield operators on attack all have the exact same movement. This is especially good for Monty because now he has better mobility. He can now quite literally go from a sprint like Blitz into a full extend. And of course, this allows him and Fuse to full sprint with much more cover than they did before. And something I didn't actually really realize until later on of trying this is that you can also directly dash through barricades like an Oryx dash. Now for me it was spacebar, but you just go up to a barricade, place it, you can also climb through them as well, and it just destroys the barricade, which is insane. And as well as this, I'm also doing some testing right now with Core Ross. We also found if you shoot enough bullets into the shield itself, the person with the shield, so the Blitz, the Monty, the Fuse, will get a new debuff effect which will slow them down so they can't sprint if you shoot them enough. So this is massive. I'm not going to go too in depth with it here because I just learned this, but this might be something that we indulge in a little bit more. But just keep that in mind. There's a new debuff effect. If you're a shield and you get shot by someone with a weapon, it will slow you down temporarily. The next major thing you'll notice in these clips is the melee. They have removed the aspects of a shield's melee acting like a knife. I personally never understood why if you hit someone once with a shield, they would die like a knife. I always thought that it should act like an air jab or an Oryx dash, and that's exactly what they've done. So firstly, they've changed the animation. Instead of doing a swing with your shield and revealing your body and head, you do a thrust forward, still protecting your body. So although you're not insta-killing someone like before, you're having much more protection when you're going for a melee. Secondly, when you hit someone, they will fall on their back just like an Oryx dash. You can even throw them through walls like an Oryx dash. And if you hit someone a grand total of 4 times, they will die just like a normal melee. So if you're a shield and you want to melee someone to death, you still can. It now takes 4 hits. However, you will still be throwing them on their back, you'll be hitting them through walls, and this will give your teammates perfect times to act on that and take them out. Or if you're brave enough, go for an ADS. I think this is a very strong change because if you are now rushing sight and you want to melee someone, before, when you went for that melee, you would expose a lot of your body and especially your head. If there are 2 people in sight, if you melee one of them, the other guy's just going to get an easy clearance on your body. Well, with the new thrust forward melee, you don't have to expose your body at all, meaning the only time you're going to expose yourself behind your shield is if you voluntarily ADS. And this will move us on to our next point, and that is reloading. So currently in the live version of Siege, if you have a shield and you want to reload, you have to remove your shield from covering your head and upper torso and go for a reload with your pistol. Well, Ubisoft have completely revamped this and made it much safer for shields. And there's 2 ways to go about this. So for starters, if you you are ADSing, so you're looking down your pistol sight and you go for a reload, it will do the old reload animation where your body's a bit exposed and you're reloading your pistol. However, if you're not fully ADSed and you have your shield up, your operator will reload behind the shield, keeping you completely safe whilst you do it. This is insanely good. So many times I've been in a situation where I'm playing as Monty, I, take out one enemy, there's another one, I'm out of ammo, and I have to go find safety if I want to reload. Well, with this new system, all I gotta kind of do is back up a little bit, give myself space, and reload behind the shield, and that's me got a full magazine again. This is incredible. Now, another thing I noticed during my testing is that this doesn't only just do it for reloading. When I was playing Fuse, I placed a cluster charge on a soft hatch, and when I had my shield back up, Fuse would actually detonate his cluster charge behind the shield, giving him more protection. The way it currently does it is sort of the same way when you reload, you sort of expose yourself a bit. So this also makes detonating items much safer as well. Now, I've been talking about a lot of the features they have added with this rework. However, they have removed one feature from this rework, and that is the fact that you can now no longer hip fire with a pistol when you have a shield. Now, I know that sounds disappointing, however, they have replaced it with another feature with that keybind. And I also want you just to think how often hip firing with a pistol has actually contributed to the round, other than giving you a lucky shot. But the feature which has replaced hip firing with pistol is now being able to look left and right without having to move your shield. This works with every shield. It also works with Monty when he's fully extended as well, so you can even do it there. So if you have your shield facing directly in front of you and you press that button, so it would actually be the fire button whilst your shield is in front of you, if you then start moving your mouse or controller analog stick left or right, the shield will remain in the same place it was that when you press that button. However, you'll be looking left and right freely and seeing what's around you. This is especially good for Monty when he's full extended, because that means he can check corners, he can look left and right. So if he goes to a doorway of a room, he can look left and right, see if anyone's there without having to expose his back to the other corner, or accidentally expose his body to someone else. So the amount of stuff you can do with a shield now looking left and right, I think that is completely valid to replace hip firing with a pistol. Let's be honest. That adds so much more depth to every single shield, and the only feature we're losing from shields is probably the least used one anyway. But I definitely think this is a great step in the right direction, and I especially want to go over what Ubisoft mentioned before. This was when they first were starting to tease the fact that we were getting our first hands-on gameplay with the shield rework sometime during this season on the lab test server. They said that they're sort of changing what it means to be a shield operator as well as its mechanics. And when you look at our main three shield operators on attack, one of them sticks out like a sore thumb. It's Fuse. He's the only shield operator whose shield doesn't actually revolve around the gadget. The shield is just an option. And for the most part, people don't actually use the shield on Fuse anyway. Maybe they will more with this rework. But Fuse has an option of an LMG as well as an AR. So I think now that shields have been reworked very in depth and in a great way, I have a feeling that the ballistic shield, the standard shield which Fuse has, may be given to some other attackers as well, as another option in their primary loadout. I know a very fan favorite operator to get given the ballistic shield which Fuse has. I'm not saying take it away from Fuse, I'm saying give it to more operators as an option. But that operator is Thermite. A lot of people really like the idea of Thermite having this ballistic shield as a primary. That means you could bring a Thermite, bring some smoke grenades on them, bring the shield, and once you breach that wall, you go for a plant execute with a shield. The fact that shields, especially the ballistic shield, have now all been changed to be more viable, more streamlined, less clunky, rebalanced in total, but also giving those operators a buff, then yeah, I think now is the best time than ever to start giving ballistic shields to more operators, use it as a balancing factor, and see how it goes. I'd like to see ballistic shields on a lot of operators. Like, even imagine Sense having a ballistic shield. They throw down their wall, and then they run through it with a shield in hand, knock someone over, and take them out. Like, the amount of stuff you can do with it is really impressive. So yeah, overall thoughts on the current iteration of the shield rework is amazing. I think it's perfect in its current iteration. I don't think they need to change anything before it comes to the live build. I think right now it's great. I think the entire player base should get to play what this current version is, because I think a lot of people are really going to get a kick out of this. I think, if you're watching this right now, I think you're going to really enjoy playing the shield rework. And any Monty mains out there, this has made him so much more flexible, so much more mobile, and I think Monty is definitely in a really good spot right now. All the shield ops got a buff, but I definitely think Monty Monty made it out best with this little rework. However, Blitz is still really great as well, especially with the fact that you can now shove people rather than having to expose your body. Blitz running into sight, getting in that opening is going to be extremely lethal as well. So definitely look forward to this new age of shield operators in this game. I think it's great. I think they fit Siege way more than the old mechanics did. I always thought they were clunky. I never thought they fit well in this game. So I am really glad to see changes come to it. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about what I've showed you of the shield rework. I do say, if you haven't tried it yet, just base your opinion on what I've shown you. Don't make that your final opinion. Make sure you get to play it before you make a final opinion. I don't think this fully releases until Year 9 Season 1, so if you're on console, you may have a little bit to wait for this, but trust me, it's worth it. So be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Drop a like on this video if you did enjoy. Subscribe if you're new. I'll catch you later. I love you all. Stay safe. Peace.